What's up, everyone? How we doing? We're indoors today. I ended up sleeping really late today. I guess it's a Sunday, and it's 10 o'clock, and I have a hat on now because I was gonna go outside, but it's too hot outside because it's not really the morning anymore, and so I'm now stuck inside. I don't want to drink my hot coffee outside, but oh well. You'll hear my complaints. We'll get over it. Point is, it's time to talk a little bit about some coffee and some training. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the idea of strength and specifically training for strength. Now, in the past, I've kind of been a person who, I don't want to say bashed strength training, maximal strength training, but I've underappreciated at times, I've overappreciated at times, and I think some of my issues come from, well, the following. By the way, before I say anything, I think maximal strength is very important. So let's not get that twisted. Let's not be, Max is not liking maximal strength. No, not the case. But I think there are some things we really need to consider with maximal strength training in the traditional sense. That is, how do we train for maximal strength, right? So if we think about maximal strength training, we need to think about how we and coaches are typically taught to do this and develop this quality. It's through means of doing things like hypertrophy work, kind of higher volume strength work, things like 4x8s, maybe a 5x5, traditional strength work. I don't know how else to describe it. There's no scientific description or specific definition for it, but I think we've all seen it, and what it does to the body is pretty taxing, and my issue with it comes from two things. One, first thing is the general taxation on the body. That is, when we train for maximal strength in these traditional ways, you can do it in other ways, and we'll talk about that in a different video. When we talk about this in a traditional way, you get tired, it's heavy work, it's not the most easy to recover from. And so that takes away from your ability to do other things that are important too, like strength and power and speed work. So the natural trade-off is strength training costs a lot, and traditional training methods, when we use them, they take away our ability to do other things. We don't have the ability to do the power movements, the high speed running or jumping at the same effectiveness potentially. We've all done like a 4x8 before and been sore, the fatigue, the general compression forces on the spine from a bar on your back, all those things are a factor. Number two is in conjunction with that, and that is when you do like a 4x8, those first 5 reps are not done with maximal intent. You're kind of just trying to get to 8 reps. And so you're kind of, I don't want to say developing and teaching to yourself to be slow, but you're burning a lot of the candle without any of that being high intent movements. And so I think what we can do when we do our strength training, and we can think about this, is how do we still train for maximal strength with high intent? How do we train for maximal strength under the guise of it actually being explosive training, right? That's something that I think that's kind of what I was going to mention too. Maybe make another video on, but I'll allude to it here. I found me very beneficial. We'd still do strength training, but find ways to make sure the intent is high. Make sure we're not doing like 4x8s. I'd rather do an 8x4 than a 4x8 or an 8x2. Again, I'll credit Westside, hence the t-shirt today, for that kind of reckoning I had and realization where it's like, look, these dynamic effort days, we're doing like 10x2s with dynamic effort like Westside barbell. They work. They work, and you can wave them in ways that, we can do them in ways that we have more strength dominance than speed. And even like Olympic lifting has some of that in it, where we're doing cluster sets and we're not doing 8 reps of hang cleans. So why are we doing 8 reps of back squats? I've always wondered that. And if we treat the back squat like a power movement and we still train it for strength, we still follow those power-based principles, I think we can develop that strength base under the intent of being more powerful, but also in conjunction with not trying to do like 4x8s and fry yourself. My big rules when training is I can't have one training day set back the rest of the week. That's a big no-no. So when I'm training athletes, I want to make sure that we're not getting sore, broken down, and beat up. Another no-no is we don't want any aches or pains that are unnecessary. And strength training, in the traditional sense, can do that sometimes. Don't BS me and say it doesn't. We've all been there. You've all back squatted. You've all been like, man, my hips are tight the next day. I don't have room for hips to be tight for the next day. I'm not interested in that. If they played hoops and they had their hips tight from playing hoops, that's fine, but we can't have the weight room getting in the way of their actual sport and what they're trying to accomplish. So let's think about that as well. We want movements that are safe, effective, maximally loaded, trained with intent. Not maximally loaded, but maximal intent, I should say. Train maximal strength, but ways they don't get sore, achy, and painful. So we're doing the right exercises, right movement patterns, not being constrained to only doing back squats, and not just doing things like 4x8, but maybe like an 8x2. Trying to be explosive with it. You can be slow and explosive. Can you know what? You can be, because you can be lifting a heavier weight like 85%, where it is quantifiably slower than that of a 50% weight, but your effort is still explosive. So that's just what I want to share through today. I'm going to drink my coffee, eat my oatmeal. I appreciate you guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a great Sunday. As always, if you like this channel, please subscribe, comment below. Feel free to share and enjoy your day. I appreciate y'all, and take care. Cheers, and take care.